We took a client from $235,000 per month in revenue to $750,000 per month in revenue in just 120 days. This happened right after Andromeda dropped. Whilst most brands were panicking about declining ROAS, this brand 3.5x their revenue. And here's what's crazy. When this founder first came to us, he was doing everything himself. Running the ads, making the creative, even writing the scripts. He was working 12-hour days and barely keeping up. His best ads were dying and he couldn't figure out how to recreate winners. He was stuck at around $85,000 per month in spend, with ROAS slowly declining. Now this might sound familiar to where you're at right now, because a lot of brands hit this exact ceiling. They make a few winning ads, they scale for a while, and then everything flatlines. They don't know why that ads worked in the first place, so that's why they struggle to recreate them. They end up in this loop of just throwing more creative at the wall and hoping something sticks. But here's what nobody tells you. The problem isn't that you need more ads. The problem is that you don't have a system. So in this video today, I'm breaking down the exact 3-pillar framework we use to scale this brand, the same system that we've used across $57 million in generated revenue on Meta. You're going to see the actual research that we did, the strategy that we built, and the system we put in place that took this founder from being the bottleneck to having ads consistently perform without his involvement. This isn't theory. You're going to see real screenshots, real numbers, and the exact process that we followed. If you're a founder and you're stuck, or your team's stuck doing all of the creative yourself, or you're struggling with creative fatigue, or you just can't figure out how to scale past 100k, 250k, or even 500k plus per month in Meta spend consistently, then just pay attention, because this will show you exactly what's missing. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name's Adam Taylor. I'm the founder at Media Engineered. We're a performance ad creative agency who specializes in pinpointing the exact angles and messaging for your brand. And it's built by operators and brothers, you can see Ryan there, who've scaled brands to 7 figures in the past. Our ads spend around $3 million per month on Meta across all of our different clients and our brands. So now we've got that introduction out of the way, let's jump straight into it. So before I show you the framework, I really need you to understand where this founder was at when he came to us. So in August 2025, this brand booked in for a creative planning call. Now we offer creative planning calls to brands that want to work with us, so you can book them on the website. And he booked one in, and here's what he told me on the first call. He said, I'm struggling with longevity of ads and cycling new ads when old ones are dying out. So he couldn't really consistently make winning ads that scaled and then add winning ads in. So ads were dying out quick and he couldn't get new ones in the ad account that actually performed. So ads were dying out quickly. They haven't changed the ads in a while because he doesn't have the time to test. He's running the operations, he's running everything. You know how it is as a founder. You're trying to do everything. And Meta wants you to be a content agency as well now. And he didn't think there was any targeting in the ads, so not specific enough with who they're actually targeting in the ads. So these are his exact words. But he scaled the brand fast in June and July, hit 2.5 ROAS at 85k per month in spend. But by August, at this point, everything started declining. So you can see July, 117k spend, 1.8 ROAS. August, 73k spend, 1.95 ROAS. So spend had dropped, dramatically, 40%, and ROAS had improved slightly. So performance was dropping, spend was dropping, and he had no idea why. And here's what he said next, and this is actually very key. He said, I'm trying to figure out how to speak like my customers, and it's really tough for me. See, he made winning ads before. He had this ASMR style that crushed for months, but when it died, he couldn't recreate it. He tried making variations, he tried making different hooks, different creators, but nothing seemed to work. Now, why? It's because he didn't know why the original ad worked in the first place, and he didn't have that understanding of his customers. So he'd made winning ads, but he still didn't understand his customers. So I've got a screenshot here of, this is a creative tracker that we put together based on the ads that were in the ad account, the naming convention, the whole setup, and the general concept. So he was launching 2 to 3 new concepts per week with random ideas, no structure, no real angle testing, just hoping something would hit. And it actually performed, and he was doing well, but then it dropped off. And that's where we came in, and that's why we were having this conversation in the first place. So the reason I wanted to show you this is because it's not just one time with this specific call that I had with this founder, who's a good friend now. We're launching another brand with him at the minute because of how well this one went. But as well as this founder, this client that we're walking through today in this case study, this is a pattern that I see over and over again. And I'm going to list it now just so you can kind of see clearly what it is, and then we can break it down and how we go about solving this. So problem 1, and you might sound familiar with this, there's no research process. So he was guessing at what his customers cared about instead of mining it from real data. Problem 2 was no creative strategy. So he wasn't testing personas or angles or formats systematically. It was just random execution. Problem 3 is the founder bottleneck. He was writing every script, approving every creative, managing every campaign. The business couldn't scale past his capacity and the hours that he was working on the business. So he actually tried hiring and bringing people in to fix this. And he brought on a CS, a creative strategist, who straight away immediately asked for a 6K extra to build a pre-lander on top of his wage before producing a single ad. So this creative strategist hadn't made a single ad yet, and now he was asking for 6K to build a pre-lander, which was a huge red flag. So by the time that he came to us, he was burnt out. He was skeptical of hiring help based on what happened with the freelancer, and he was kind of stuck. He needed to hit 200K per month in ad spend before Q4, but at the rate things were going, he wasn't even going to maintain 85K. So that's a situation. Now, I want to break down exactly how we fixed it. So here's a framework that we use. There's 3 pillars. Pillar 1 is market signal mapping. This is where we extract winning angles from real customer data. Pillar 2 is Angle OS. This is where we turn that research into a full funnel creative strategy. Pillar 3 is learning loop system. This is where we build the infrastructure to compound winners and remove the founder bottleneck so we can build these systems into the business. Now, this framework specifically has been tested across 57 million in Meta revenue that we've generated and over 100 different brands. And it's designed to reduce CPA by 35% and lift ROAS by 30%. And the beauty of it is that it's not product specific. So it works for supplements, it works for pet products, tech, fashion. It doesn't matter because the framework isn't about your product specifically. It's about understanding customers and your customer psychology and then systematically testing what resonates with them. So let me break down each pillar with real examples from this case study. Pillar 1 is market signal mapping, and this is where most brands completely skip because you cannot brainstorm your way to a winning angle. It's not created in Notion, it's not created in Google Meet. Your customers need to tell you what works. So the first thing that we did was extract every piece of customer language that we could find. So there's 3 main places that we like to look. Now, we use other places as well, but these are my 3 favorite right now. I'll touch on the others so you have a full picture. But customer reviews, so exporting CSV files of as many reviews that you can get from your customers specifically. Reddit threads, so people open up their hearts anonymously about your product, about your competitor products, about their pain points and desires. Winning ads, so reverse engineering what's actually working in your ad account, understanding why specific ads are top performers, and then using that data to create more ads. Now, from all 3 of these, you can get a real good idea of who your customers are, what they care about. As well as this, you can use your Facebook ad comment, organic comments, TikTok comments, comment sections on viral posts, what's going viral in the industry, as well as competitor websites, competitor reviews, competitor ads as well. But these are my 3 favorites right now, as I think these give you the most data in the shortest amount of time, to be honest. And this is where AI can become a massive time saver. So instead of manually reading through all 500 reviews, we exported them into a CSV and uploaded them straight into Claude. So here's a prompt that you can use with your reviews inside of Claude or whatever LLM or AI tool you want to use. So analyze these customer reviews and extract the exact language customers use to describe their problems, emotional states, failed solutions they've tried before buying, specific transformation language, social or lifestyle impacts mentioned, and then format as pain points, emotional trigger, failed solution, and desired outcome. Now, if you upload this into AI with your CSV file of reviews, you'll get a real good idea and a breakdown of your customers' emotions. That'll give you tons of great ideas for angles for your ads. So in just 15 seconds, we extracted 15 different angles. Now, here's some examples of what we actually got from Claude. So pain points: dog hates going to the groomer, becomes anxious and aggressive. So that's exactly why they would want to buy the products. That's a pain point they're suffering for this pet care brand, avoiding going to the groomers. Emotional trigger, so guilt, maybe embarrassment when the vet mentions poor grooming. They've tried bathing at home, but the dog freaks out. They've tried different groomers. They've tried calm grooming experience at home without stress. So that's a desired outcome. So this is just very service level. But when you actually put your reviews in there, it actually pulls out real customer language and it starts to become really effective. There's some more examples here. So spending $80 a month on professional grooming. So this is kind of different angles. And from this, you can start to actually put this together into different angles that you'd use for ads. And in the future, you'll start to map this out to awareness levels as well. But emotional trigger, frustration at recurring cost. Failed solutions, tried cheaper groomers, but quality suffered. Desired outcome, professional results at home for a fraction of the cost. So you should be able to see the difference there. It's not really marketing speak. It's more customer language, raw customer language. A dog freaks out. It feels like a waste of money. Feeling guilty when the pet mentions poor grooming. That's not something you can really come up with in a brainstorm. That's mined from real people, from your customer reviews, and that's where the value is found. So now you want to organize these into an angle bank. So you can do this in a creative tracker. I've just got it here so you can see the examples of how this could work, and specifically to kind of show you the creative strategy side of things. So angle 1, you've got to stop paying $80 a month for groomers. Now this awareness stage is problem aware. Now one of the biggest unlocks that we've had for brands since making ads for the years that we've been making creatives on Meta. So awareness levels is probably one of the biggest things that moves the needle and gets results. If you can begin to have this in mind, so I'll audit tons of ad accounts and they'll just be targeting bottom of funnel. Everything will answer their product. So I'll sometimes audit ad accounts where every single ad that this brand is making mentions the product or the brand name specifically in the hook, and their frequency is super high. So that's obviously product aware, solution aware, to bottom of funnel or offer statics as well. So that's obviously going to have a higher frequency in the ad account, and because the ad account's built around bottom of funnel angles, and the biggest lever they could pull is bringing in some problem aware ads. So hopefully this breaks this down a little bit for you now. $80 a month for the groomers is obviously problem aware. They know grooming is expensive. They know what the problem is. Emotional trigger, financial frustration, hook, cost savings, ROI. For angle 2, groom your dog at home without the stress. So this is solution aware, because they've tried home grooming but it failed, so they're aware of your solution specifically and solutions to their problem. Emotional trigger, guilt, anxiety around the dog's stress. The hook structure can be ease, calm experience, and obviously relaxing. Angle 3, why your dog hates the groomers and what to do about it. So unaware to problem stage. So this is educational, obviously. They're kind of aware that the dog hates the groomers, but they're not sure it's actually a problem. They're not sure that this is something they can solve, or don't really know that it's too much of a problem. But you can get empathy for the dog, guilt, obviously educational, and problem solution. Now, if you can map this out for your existing ads, I do recommend going into your ad account and figuring out the angles of your existing ads, and you probably will find a gap. And depending on your spend level and where you're at, you very easily can reach a cap when you're just targeting one part of the funnel. When you do hit a cap and when you're trying to increase spend, CPA is increasing or ROAS is decreasing, it's usually because you need to go higher up in the funnel. In 30 minutes from that little Claude exercise, we had 12 solid angles, and they're all backed by real customer language, all emotionally charged. It's coming directly from the customer. But here's the key. We're not just looking for the pain points. We're looking for 3 specific things. So 1, the exact words they use, not grooming anxiety. They say, my dog freaks out and tries to jump out the car, for example. 2 is their emotional state. So are they guilty? Are they frustrated? Are they embarrassed? That emotion is what makes them stop scrolling, and it means that you can actually resonate with them. 3 is what they've already tried. So this tells us what objections to handle and what to position against. So this is a foundation of everything, because once you have these angles, you're not guessing anymore. You know exactly what to say, how to say it, and who you're saying it to. And that's when we move to pillar 2. So pillar 2 is angle OS. This is where the research that we just did turns into strategy. And here's the problem that most brands have. They find one winning angle and they beat it to death. They make 30 variations of the same concept and then wonder why it stops working or why they can't scale anymore. Post-Andromeda, you need creative diversity, but not random diversity. It's got to be strategic. So you need ads across at least 3 levels of awareness. So we have top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. You can even break it down into the 5 levels, and that is obviously preferred. But to begin with, breaking it down like this just makes it easier in terms of initially breaking down ads. So top of funnel, these are people who don't even know that they've got a problem yet. They're scrolling, they're not in buyer mode. So for this pet brand, this case study we're walking through today, a top of funnel ad might be 3 signs that your dog's grooming is making them anxious. Because this isn't selling the product, it's educating them. It's building awareness that there's even a problem to solve. So we have middle of funnel here. This is where people know they've got a problem and they're looking for solutions. So for this brand specifically, why professional groomers cost $80 per month and this tool costs $50 once. So this is differentiation. It's us versus them. Why our solution is better than the other solutions you've tried or may not have tried yet. And then of course we have bottom of funnel. These are warm people who've been on your site. They might have engaged with an ad or even added to cart. For this brand, you can have get 30% off your first order plus a free grooming guide. You have direct offer in there, risk reversal, urgency. Primarily, these are static ads. if it was a specific offer and you're trying to ramp up and you're really trying to scale sales, then yeah, you can make testimonials an offer for bottom of funnel, depending on where you're at. Usually statics are the easiest, but of course, testimonials, promoting work as well. Now, I kind of touched on this a little bit, but when you only run bottom of funnel ads, you cap out really fast because you're only reaching people who already know about your brand. Full funnel means you're attracting new people with top of funnel content. You're nurturing them with middle of funnel proof and then converting them with bottom of funnel offers. And here's the best part. So you don't need to manually retarget them anymore, like set up in the ad account. When you have diverse creative in your account, Meta's algorithm automatically shows people the right ad at the right time. So someone will see your top of funnel ad about dog grooming anxiety. They'll engage with it. Meta will show you the middle of funnel content comparing you to groomers. They click it, and then Meta will show you the bottom of funnel offer. This is the funnel working at peak performance, and this is what you want to try and map out. So here's what we built for this client specifically. We took those 12 angles from our research and we mapped them to funnel stages. So top of funnel, why your dog hates the groomer, 3 signs of bad grooming, what professional groomers don't tell you. Now for middle of funnel, exactly the same, mapping them out. This tool versus $80 a month groomers, how we save dog owners $960 a year, real results from real customers. And then bottom of funnel, 30% off your first order, free grooming guide with purchase, risk-free 30-day guarantee. So you can see how that works across the full funnel. And then for each angle, we planned multiple formats. So Format 1, UGC video with a real dog owner testimonial style. Format 2, static ads, bold headlines with before and after visuals. And then Format 3, we had founder ads, story-driven, trust building. We even tried some AI ads and podcast style ads as well. But these are the first 3 that we mapped out from each angle with those initial ones that I just showed you, but after we tested a bunch. Now, this is the testing structure that we kind of use. So 1 angle and at least a few formats to test, because if you only test 1 angle in 1 format and it fails, you don't know if the angle was bad or the format was wrong. So when you test like this and you have that structure, you get real data. So you know, okay, we tested this angle with a couple of creators, with a couple of formats, and it still didn't perform. Okay, that angle probably isn't the best. Now, I can show you what this looks like in practice. So we've got a few ads here and we've got formats. So UGC mashup, we've got AI ad, static ad, and this is the naming convention that we were using, where we're also putting the angle style of ad in there as well. So it makes it super easy for us to break down that data and make more ads. So you should be able to get an idea of how this works now. We're not throwing random ads into the ad account. We're strategically testing angles across formats, across funnel stages. And when we find a winner, we don't just let it ride, we compound it. And that's what Pillar 3 is all about. Pillar 3, it's a learning loop system. And this is where most brands completely fall apart. They find a winning ad, they scale it, it dies, and then they start over from scratch every time. That's insane because you're throwing away all your learnings. You're spending money in the ad account. You should use that data. The brands that scale post-Andromeda don't just find winners, they compound them. And that's what we're going to be walking through right now. So this is the Angle OS inside of our creative tracker. Every single ad that we launch gets logged in here with its own specific name. So you can see the source, if it's media engineered, an internal team, the format, the concept, the messaging in there. And this is really important for us so we can start to consolidate the data, export it from ad accounts, and make decisions that are backed by data. So the ad name will come out something like this, and you can see you can really break it down as much as you want. So the source all the way down to the product, to the landing page, to what the benefit is, to the angle, the format of the ad. And you can make this as long or as short and concise as you want. As long as you get the core main points in there, it's super valuable. So what's great is at this point, you can use an angle leaderboard to export the data from Meta and rank your ads by the top performing angles, the top performing personas. And this makes it blatantly obvious what you should be making next, what ads have performed best for you, and it makes it really useful to consolidate this data. So when you're making new ads going forward, you know exactly what the best angles are, what awareness levels are performing best in terms of your top performers, what angle, persona, product, landing page they are using. Now, these insights that you get from the angle leaderboards, from the naming conventions are worth 6-7 figures, because now we know when we launch new creatives that we're not testing blind. We know what format to use. We know exactly what hooks to use, what angles convert. We're stacking the deck. So this means when we export data, we can instantly see patterns. So next is the iteration process. When we identify a winner, we don't just let it ride. We compound it in at least 3 ways. So 1, we'll be taking the winning hook and putting it on a previous winning ad or format. We already know the format works from a different angle. Now we're testing the new hook, makes it even better. So for example, we had a winning UGC ad about dog anxiety. The hook was, does your dog freak out at the groomer? We took that exact hook and put it on a static format that previously worked for a cost savings angle. This new combination spent 34k at 3.1 ROAS, and we didn't reinvent anything either. We literally combined two proven elements. Now 2 is changing the format but keeping the angle and message. So turn a UGC ad into a founder ad, or turn a video into a static, the same core message but just different delivery. An ad performed well as a UGC, for example, and we turned it into a static with the same hook and same angle, and the static actually scaled and got some decent spend at a similar ROAS level with the exact same message but just in a different format. Now we do this all the time. The most common way is a static to a UGC, because you can test statics easily and turn them into a UGC ad after. Now 3 is make hook variations of your winner. Now minimum 5 different hooks on the same concept, same body, same content, but just a different first 3 to 5 seconds. Now, we still make 5 variations with our creatives, but since Andromeda update, you just need to make them with more variation. So there's an ad set that I was looking at for this case study where one of the ads spent around 30k, and the other next highest spending ad was 1k, and the other 2 ads were very low spend. And I think that's just shows why it's so important and why hook variations, because if we just made those initial 4, we might not have got a winner at all. So I think it just gives you more variation. If you're going out of the way to make a concept and spend so much time on research and make a concept, and then you make 3 hooks that just don't work for whatever reason, it seems like a waste. So that's why we're still heavy on making 5 variations. So this is how you scale without constantly searching for new ideas. You find one angle that resonates, and then you test it in every format, every hook variation, every creator style. You're not guessing, you're compounding learnings. Now, after 12 weeks, we give the client a creative data system playbook. This is a PDF that compiles every test we did, every hook that works, every angle that converted, even every creative that worked. It's basically an instruction manual for the brand's creative. They hand this to a future creative strategist, they can feed it into AI tools. It's their creative operating system. And this is why the founder was able to step back at the end of our time together. He wasn't the bottleneck anymore, because we had the research process, we had the strategy, we had the systems. All that he had to do was approve final ads and launch them, and the business could actually scale past his capacity. And as I mentioned, we're actually launching a new brand with him. We're taking over the media buying for this existing brand, this case study that I'm talking about right now. We recently took over the media buying and the ads management for this brand, and we're also launching a new brand with him where we're doing the ads management and the ad creatives as well. Now, I know you're interested, so what were the actual results on paper that we saw? So we took the brand from 235k per month in revenue to 750k per month in revenue in just 120 days. You can see a Shopify screenshot of the store in August last year, and then you can see the store the last 30 days when recording this, 750k in January 2026. So just 120 days or so, and scaled them up over 3.5x in revenue. Ad spend went from around 100k to 120k. I think they actually dipped to around 85 just before we took those screenshots around that time when we initially spoke, to up to 400k per month whilst maintaining their target ROAS. Huge scale in ad spend as well, up 3.5x plus as well. But one of the biggest things that isn't a number is that the founder actually went from working 12-hour days on creative to approving final ads once per week. And here's what he said in his review. What set them apart from other agencies was that they actually took the time to understand my product and analyze what was working in my account instead of just pumping out generic content. They built a creative strategy around real data from my account, analyzing which hooks, visual elements, and formats were actually driving results. They think bigger picture about creative strategy and testing frameworks, not just one-off videos. And that's the difference. It wasn't just making more ads, it was about building a system that compounds over this 120 days. The ads that we launched in month 1 are still running today, still profitable, still scaling, because they were built based on real customer insights, tested systematically, and iterated based on data. And that's how you scale post-Andromeda. And I'm 100% confident that in 2026, we're going to hit over 1 million a month in revenue and beyond, and continue scaling this case study. All right, so how can you actually apply this to your business right now, today? So here's your action plan if you want to replicate this success. Step 1, export your customer reviews, minimum 250, 500 plus, the maximum the better. Upload them into Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini with the prompt that I showed you earlier, and extract 10 to 15 angles minimum. Step 2, map those angles to funnel stages. Which angles are top of funnel, which are middle, which are bottom, and for each angle, plan 3 format variations minimum, so UGC, static ad, and pick the formats that make the most sense for your brand. And also try to have a look in your ad account. What angles are you actually doing at the minute, what are middle of funnel, what's bottom of funnel, are you doing any top of funnel, and try and get a good understanding of what's going on in your ad account. Step 3, set up your creative tracker, log every single ad with angle, format, hook, and then performance data. You can't compound learnings if you're not tracking them. Step 4, launch in phases. Start by testing angles, validate winners with more videos, scale winners with high production formats. Don't jump straight into expensive production, test first. Step 5 is after testing, after giving it a good few days and spend, analyze patterns, what angles are working, what formats are working, what hooks are working, and double down on what's performing, the winners, and kill what isn't working and stop making what isn't working. So step 6 is iterating winners. So take your best performing ads and create hook variations, format variations, and creative variations. Compound, don't start from scratch. This framework is how we've generated over $57 million on Meta with our creative and helped brands scale from 6 figures to 7 figures per month. It's not about testing more, it's about testing smarter. So you can take everything that I just showed you and go ahead and implement it yourself. All the information is there, the research process, the strategy framework, the iteration systems. Go ahead and do it. But if you want my team to do this for you, to map your winning angles, build your full funnel strategy, and handle the entire creative process from research to production to iteration, I've opened up a few creative planning calls. We'll audit your current ad account, identify exactly which angles you should be testing, and show you how we scale your creative, your meta ads with this 3-pillar framework. So links in the description. If you want your ad strategy dialed in and you want to scale meta ad spend, go ahead, click the first link and fill in the form and book a call for a creative planning session. And if this breakdown was valuable, subscribe, because I'm releasing more case studies like this and more videos like this on my channel with real brands, with real numbers and real strategies that you can steal. I'll see you in the next one.